video is on averages from frequency tables, which is a long title, which is quite annoying. But if you look at the words separately, it becomes obvious what it means. So, averages. What averages do we know? We know mode, median, range, and mean. And we're getting the averages from a frequency table. So what is a frequency table? It's a table that has number of something and the frequency of that thing. So we're getting the averages, the mode, median, range and mean from frequency tables, so from a table. So I'm going to draw out an example and then we're just going to learn how to do it from that. So here is our frequency table, and in this example we're looking at the number of goals, so maybe in football matches, and then the frequency of that number of goals in each match. We're looking at averages, we're trying to find mode, range, median and mean, just looking at this table, and the mode, range and median are super easy. We know the mode is equal to the MO, the most often. So for this one, for the mode, you pick the category that has the highest frequency. So here we can see 0 goals were scored in 10 games, 1 goal was scored in 12 games, 2 goals in 9 games, etc. So the most often number of goals scored was 12, which was only 1 goal. So the mode is 1 goal because that happened in 12 of the matches and that is the most frequent. So that one's quite self-explanatory. What about if we do the range? So the range is, we've got ones that scored 4 goals, so the biggest number of goals we scored was 4, and then take away the smallest, and that was 0 goals scored. So that would be 4 minus 0, so 4 goals for the range. So again, very similar to just when we have the data points written out for us. Now let's look at the median. And the median we know is the middle value in our data. So, but what is that? So we need to find out the total number of data points. So we add up the frequencies to get the total. So that is going to be 10 plus 12 plus 9 plus 4 plus 5. The total then, if you add all those together, is 40 games. So total games is 40 games. So to get the median, middle, whatever, say it how you want, you take the total plus 1 and divide by 2, and that's the middle data point. And that gives you an answer of 20.5. So we need to look in between the 20th point and the 21st point. So if we go along our table, looking at our table, we can see that it's in ascending order because we've got 0, 1s, the 2s and 3s and 4s. So there were 10 in the first one. So then if we do 10 plus 12, we get to 22. And we know, so we're looking for the 20th and the 21st data point, and it's not in the first 0 goals scored because that was only the first 10. And then if you look at the next 12, so that will take you up to 22. So that 1 goal must include the 20th and the 21st value. So that is going to be 1 goal for the median. So when looking for the median, you're looking for the category which contains the middle data point, the middle value, and you do that by adding these up to find out where it is. So now we go on to the hardest one, which is the mean. So the mean's a bit mean, it's a bit nasty, and the reason for that is you just have to get used to it. Once you see it once, it's not too bad, but you have to make a new column where you do the number of goals, the category, multiplied by the frequency. So you do 0 times 10 and you multiply those together. And you get this new column of number multiplied by the frequency. And that gives you 0 times 10 is 0, 1 times 12 is 12, 2 times 9 is 18, 3 times 4 is 12, and 4 times 5 is 20. And now using these values, you do what you normally would do with the mean. So normally we sum up and then divide by the number we had. So this time you sum up this column now, your new column, so we have 12 plus 18 plus 12 plus 20 divided by the total number and games, and that was 40. And that gives you an answer of 1.55 goals. So the one extra step when doing the mean when you have frequency tables is you have to do this multiplication here. That's what makes it a little bit harder, and then add those numbers up and divide by the total number of games. And the reason you multiply these together is because this had 0 goals, so you can't actually count any goals for this column. So if we added 10, that would be completely incorrect. So that's why we have to do the multiplication. This had 1 goal 12 times, that's 12 goals. This getting 2 goals happened 9 times, so that's going to be 18 goals, because you've got 2 goals in 9 games. So in those total 9 games, you have 18 goals. So you've got 3 goals happening in 4 games, so that would be 12 goals in those games, and then 5 with 4 goals, and that'd be 20 in those. So you can kind of see how that makes sense. And that's an example of how you do it. It's not too bad, it's a bit like normal averages. And then there's going to be a separate video for when you have grouped frequency tables, which have a slightly different way of working out the mean, which will be super useful to watch as well.